So let's start as ever by looking back to Saturday. Obviously you were pleased with what you saw in the second half, but how frustrating is it that you're not seeing that for a full 90 minutes?
Very frustrating. I mean, we've got to see that now. We've seen lots of progress regarding little pockets of play. That was probably the biggest spell where we dominated the second half. And even looking back at the first half, there was nothing in the game at all. You go in 2-0 down and you sort of scratching your head thinking, well, errors, a little bit unlucky, ricochets in front of the goal, but just prior to us conceding our first goal, we should have been 1-0 up. And that sort of has a different sort of outlook on the game, but very, very disappointing. But I've tried to take all the positives of what we're trying to get and how we're trying to go about it, and the style of what we're trying to do. And I keep going back. We keep working very, very hard out there on the training ground to hopefully come this Saturday. We've got to put in a great performance. It's no good talking here and making sure that we say the right things. I've never been a manager to say that. It's about it's time to deliver, and we've got to give the fans and the chairman and the people of the club something to smile about. We've got to start and put a run of games together, and draws are no good. We've got to start winning games, and that's what we're here to do.
How can you go on to, as a manager, to get that consistency into your players? Is it a matter of time?
It is a matter of time. I think it's so important that you do need time to develop with what you're trying to create, and the players and myself understand each other so well now. 2 months in, I think the players, what they've given me at this moment in time is everything regarding the energy and desire. I sort of seen the last 5 minutes of the game, the energy levels to get back in and make big positive runs defensively. They can do that now. They couldn't do that. So there's lots and lots of pluses coming through. I think personnel, we're getting there. We brought in another 2 players last week, which I thought was a real sort of big help towards what we're trying to do and the style we're trying to play. I feel that a win will set us off, and then we'll put a real strong run together. But we need to do that Saturday.
You say as well that you're trying to change the way that York City play as well. I guess that obviously that takes time too, so are you maybe asking fans to be patient for a little bit longer? Pretty
much so, not much longer. Now it's got to happen. It's sort of got to happen this Saturday. We've been here long enough now, and I've never been one to hide behind anything. We've got to start and deliver, and as simple as that. We've got good enough players to start and put in better performances over 90 minutes, and we've got to start and do that. There's no question about it. We've got to get out there and, as a team, as a squad, put in some outstanding performances and put a real good run together now.
I think certainly from reaction that we get at BBC Radio York from fans, they would have expected the change to have happened by now. Would you as well?
Yes and no. I think it takes time. I think you're looking. There's been a lot of changes off the pitch that people won't understand. There's been a lot of, in my opinion, indiscipline around the club, and until you get the discipline right of what you want and how you want to work, then the rest takes a bit longer. And I've had to do that, and the job is bigger than we thought it was when we've come in, and we've had to move a lot of players out, and we've had to look at sort of how we're going to restructure and try to improve it, and we've done a lot of work unseen behind the scenes, and whether you like it or not, if you don't get them things right, it doesn't happen on the pitch. And I feel we're getting things right off the pitch now of how we want to be, and the players have all bought into it. And we've got to keep going back to the saying, we've got to back it up with performances and results.
It's a fine balance, isn't it? Getting things right, making sure you've got the time to get things right. So bearing in mind any time scale that you might have set yourself for various targets, is getting into the playoffs still realistic for you at the end of the year?
God, it's me, yeah. I mean, what we're talking, 20 odd games still. We're just nearly halfway through the season, so we've got to, for me, make sure this weekend is the right on the pitch, and by being right for 90 minutes, by being dominant in our play, being very, very much on the front foot, and taking the game to Blyth and making sure we win the game.
If I can just pick up on one more thing that you said to us after the match on Saturday as well about a couple of the part-time coaching staff, and you said that you pay them and not York City. It may be naive of me, but that's something I've not come across before. Is that quite an unusual step?
That's probably just me. Look after my staff, look after the right people. That's looked after what we've tried to create. So it's just the way I work as a manager. People might think I'm mad, but I'm very loyal to people, and if they can add some added value to what we're trying to create at York, then it's worth its while.
And willing to put your hand in your pocket to do that then?
Yeah, I've done it all my life, and I always will to the people that are the right people that can, but only if they can contribute something towards what we're doing, towards what we're trying to achieve. And you know, I think it's like any management team. You know, you're as good as your management team. We've all played a massive part, and when we're doing well, and when we're not doing so well, we've got to stick together. And you know, you need people around you in football that you can trust.
So let's move on then to the Christmas period, a busy time for any football club at any level. How important is this one for you?
Yeah, it's everything. You know, we've got to finish the year off strong, start the year so strong, and make sure that, you know, come the end of the season that we've got something to play for, and the aim is promotion still, and we've got to make sure that come the end of the season that we're in the playoffs, and we give this football club something to celebrate.
And there often is a club, isn't there, around about this time of year that goes on a run and kicks on and climbs the league. City did it themselves a few years back.
Yeah, we're not bottom of the league, you know, so let's look at the bigger picture. We're points away from where we want to be. So, you know, we're in a position where we can really sort of push on, develop what we've got to do, and you know, it's time to stop the talk and it's time to start delivering now.
So let's look at your team before we look at your opposition. Firstly, obviously, Sean Newton, how is it?
He's out for a week or two. You know, I think that's out there now. You know, there's no getting away from that. So, you know, it's, we've got strength in midfield. That's one thing for sure. You know, we're not sort of like looking and saying we need to get players in. And the reason why you need a strong squad is for competition and for these purposes as well. So hopefully that'll not affect us at all. Because, you know, as I said to you, we're very strong in that department.
Any other problems that you're concerned about?
No, apart from Sean, I think it's quite business as normal. You know, we've got a clean bill of health, and we've got to make sure that the players start produce performance.
And on to your opposition, Blyth. It's a real tough one, this, isn't it, in front of your own fans as well?
It is, yeah, and you've got to be able to handle the pressure. Everybody, you know, I watched Blyth on Tuesday night. They've had a great start this season. You know, they've put themselves in a position which probably they thought they weren't going to be. But credit to them, they had a sort of a slow start, but they've had a great run, certainly this last sort of 2 months. So they've got goals in the team. There's no question about it. Their front four players are very capable of winning the games, and they've relied on them front four to score them goals. And the reason why they've done so well is because of them players, in my opinion. But you know, we've got to make sure that we sort of respect that and make sure that we're very disciplined. The boy Maguire, Robbie Dale, Jarrett Rivers, Dale Hobson, you know, they're a real handful if given space and time to create something. So we've got to make sure that we on top of our game to counteract that, and we do what's right in both boxes. And if we get what's right in both boxes, then we've got a great chance. You know, whether it's a home game or a away game, you know, we're going to have hopefully a fantastic festive period. You know, where people's going to come, more people are going to come to watch the team play, and we've got to make sure that, hey, football's about pressure. You know, you're as good as your results, you're as good as your performances, and we've got to start putting both together now.